like The Walking Dead. I was rich on paper, now I'm paper thin. Guess diamond hands don't mean a thing when you're caving in. I put rent on Tesla and faith in charts. Now I've got 7 unopened pink slips and a broken heart. All my friends are long on mental health, while I treat every green candle like generational wealth. Dude, just sell. Nah, I'll go down with this ship. Got delusions of profit and a caffeine drip. I was 2 bad trades from enlightenment. Tried to time the top, ended up in enlightenment. Champagne on credit, tears in the tub. I invest like I live dumb, loud and in love with the sound of a margin call. I learned more from losses than I ever did in class, like how to say this is fine while everything's on gas. I'm addicted to charts and emotional debt. I treat my brokerage like a roulette bet. My therapist said maybe take a break. I said sure, then bought puts on my own mistake. I've got screen tan lines and a caffeine gut, and I scream, oh brother, just to feel tough. You're not okay, but I look great on the graph. Up for a second, then back to the crash. I was 2 bad trades from retirement. Guess I'll start that OnlyFans for enlightenment. Took a loan from my pride, paid it back in shame. Every candle I chase is a brand new flame. And I love the burn. It's not just money, it's dopamine in disguise. It's betting your future on a stranger's advice. I told my mom it's long-term wealth. As I panic, sold happiness and YOLO'd my health. It's just a dip, right? Yeah, so's my sanity. But at least I'm still funny, manically.
Oh brother. Welcome. Good morning to another episode of the Kohrs Show, where today is Tuesday. I want to go with it is June the 3rd. I'm pretty sure it's Tuesday if you believe in the Gregorian calendar. I'm not saying you should. I'm not saying you shouldn't. I'm just saying for those of you who do follow the Gregorian calendar, I believe it is a Tuesday, June the 3rd. I'm happy to be here. Didn't have the best trading day yesterday. I basically got into a fight with you guys in chat and refused to get out of my positions on Apex until the accounts were about to blow up. And then I switched positions, and then it went the other way, and then I got whipsawed, and then it would have went in my favor anyway, so that's not so fun. But I do have good news. I did manage to keep my degeneracy capped at Apex, while all the take profit accounts are actually passed, and I passed the test, so I'll be able to trade them today. And actually, shout out to Take Profit. They are the partner of today's show, so use that code Goonie. Make sure their website's a little weird. There's a coupon thing. You have to do a drop down and put it in, and then actually hit the word apply. So if you're doing Take Profit right now in real time today, Tuesday, June the 3rd, they are the cheapest option out of all of the prop firms that I currently trust. I'm not saying they're the cheapest across the board. There's so many of these prop firms now. But in terms of the ones that I believe have a proven track record, and I'm going to stick with that until I'm proven wrong. Right now, TPT, Take Profit Trader, is the best financial offering. So check it out. Pinned to the top of chat in the description of the video. Shout out to Take Profit Trader. Just make sure I get some messages from people hey man, I didn't get the discount or anything. Their UI is a little bit weird. Just make sure you're actually hitting the apply button. So Shout out to them. More on them in a second. Yesterday, we, in the first half of the day, saw a little bit of sketchiness up until about 10:15. Then the market switched and we pumped and pumped. We got caught up in some sideways consolidation. And then in the afternoon, we pumped even more, which really does give a little bit of credence to the concept of why are we trading midday anyway? I know we're all degenerates and we want something to pay attention to, but I swear, anecdotally, and I really do believe all the data would suggest this, that honestly, as short-term traders, as scalp traders, as day traders, even as swing traders, we have no business being involved within the market in midday. I honestly, truly believe if you looked at your individual trading or if you looked at us as a community, our aggregate, the concept of being in there midday, it has to be a net negative. I truly, truly, truly believe that. You get some good action in the morning, you get some good action in the late afternoon. If you're on New York time, and other than that, like, what is the point? What is the point of even being in there midday where we all know we just get absolutely chopped? I get it. Once in a while, there's some movement, but I'm saying, like, in aggregate, it's just not a smart time. Just not a smart time to be involved. So yesterday, I got involved exactly when I know I shouldn't have been involved, and it cost me. And then surprise, surprise, in the morning and in the afternoon, that's when we got the good moves, especially in the afternoon. We had a pump into close. Right now, we're slightly under that in pre-market trading. I did a full breakdown in the Discord this morning of why I believe the bulls are in control. So everyone in the Discord, feel free to check that out. Make sure you're reading it. It's all under coffee thoughts of my exact trading plan for the day. But what you guys need to know is the TLDRs from yesterday to today. We saw a clear bullish shift, a bullish improvement. The bulls were already in control in terms of calls, but now they're even stronger this morning. And we have a very interesting inverse captain condor at play today. Generally in here, every once in a while, we know there's the captain condor, basically a call credit spread, a put credit spread in the person or the group of players. We know it's some like large Discord group. They're basically playing on it, ending within those bounds. Today, we're seeing the opposite. Instead of credit spreads, we're actually seeing debit spreads. It's about a 2,000 contract position, and they are basically betting on a breakout of 59.60 or breakdown below 59.10. This individual bet doesn't necessarily care which side breaks. They just want one of those sides to break. So I'm very much hoping we get that breakout today. And like I say, I hope it's a breakout to the upside. I'm very interested in the overall market in real pit trading. Technically, we were coming up close to 6,000 in a post-market trading one of these days, but in the pit session from 9:30 to 4, I very much want to see how the market reacts to 6,000. Very good chance that ends up becoming a local high, and we have to take a breather from there. But it would be actually really, really nice to be able to touch that in the short term, especially before the June monthly expiration. Other side note, I feel like this entire show has just been a gazillion different side notes, but they are important ones. Yesterday into this morning, there's a lot of aggression now in calls for this Friday. So for whatever reason, maybe it was just the afternoon action yesterday, maybe it was the overnight. I don't know exactly when the trades were placed. I just know it was sometime between yesterday and this morning that a lot of calls are coming in for this Friday, and it might directly relate to some of the commentary we're getting out of the administration of, hey, we're close to another trade deal, like that type of a thing. So of course I'll be going over that this morning, but just from a pure like empirical standpoint, you probably got some of this in the update video yesterday that I wanted to let you know, like directly for this Friday, a lot of calls are hitting the tape. Are they right? Are they wrong? Obviously, I'll tell you better on Saturday, but I just wanted to let you know what we are seeing in real time. And on that note, we should probably actually look at the market. S&P 500 stock futures slip kicks off June with a modest gain. So right now in pre-market trading, here's where we're at. We had a nice rally kind of starting around 2 p.m. yesterday. It was clearly trending up, but then really started to get pippity popping around 2:15, both in the SPY and the Qs. Meta and Broadcom were the nice winners yesterday. Meta gaining 3.6%, Broadcom gaining 2.7%. Both are slightly green in pre-market right now. Not only are they having solid intraday strength, but they're actually getting daily chart breakouts. So once again, that was in the update video, so there's more details there. So I'm very much watching Meta, Broadcom, Even ASML had a pretty decent day yesterday, losing it early this morning, and then Palantir making a new all-time high. So I would say in terms of my major watches, it probably goes Meta, Broadcom, Palantir, and Tesla in no particular order. But those are the 4 equities right now that I just find to be very, very interesting and potentially representing a lot of opportunity. Everyone in the Discord knows that I have a position on 3 out of these 4 at the current moment. And then we're going to see if I end up going 4 out of 4 today. But once again, Meta, Broadcom, Tesla, Palantir are all kind of on my immediate watch list, and I want to pay attention to what they're doing, along with ideally we are getting this breakout right here. We had this structure drawn on the S&P 500 before yesterday even traded, and as of today, I'm expecting a test. Now, will that test lead to an actual breakout? I don't know. Your guess is as good as mine. The only way we would definitively know is either if we ask the Wheel of Destiny or if we pull a cat tarot card, but beyond that, it's just, like I said, we're just guessing. I'm hoping for the breakout, and I would love for it to break out and then immediately take out 5968. Let me change the color of this. I don't want it to be red. That seems a little bit too scary. I would love a technical breakout of this structure with a very strong options flow. See right here in the afternoon yesterday, this is the delta flow on the S&P 500. Here's a look at the Mag 7. So not only do I want to see that technical breakout, but I want to see the options market doing a similar thing and then leading us up to basically the top of this range at 5968. And then on a swing perspective, I'd be looking for a test of 6,000 flat, where on the very first test, I would very evidently expect a rejection, because I think there's just going to be too much profit taking and too much really new shorts entering right there, just in case it is a full-on rejection. Now, it might struggle a little bit and then continue, but on that first test, I would expect a little bit of a pullback. So that's the overall technical situation. Obviously, I'm giving you a little bit of a preview of what happened in the world of options. Like I said, there's a more in-depth breakdown of what's going on in options in the Discord, so congrats if you're in there. But really, what's going to lead this is the market's reaction to headlines, and that's what we're waiting for now. Trump tariffs are hurting U.S. and global economy, the OECD warned. So we got this update this morning that they're basically expecting our GDP to drop. They're expecting the whole world's GDP to drop. And in fact, the best situation is just Brazil and the Eurozone staying at where they are. But every other one is just a drop. Now, the market, as you can see in pre-market trading, initially reacted poorly to this, but very, very quickly recovering. And this is just another piece of information of how just headline driven the current market is. And that could be good. It could also fairly be bad. Obviously, if it's good news, we could pop, as we've seen before, or on the flip side, like this as a real-time example. Granted, it happened in pre-market, which is a lower liquidity environment. But this, obviously, people can overreact in either direction. White House close to the finish line on some trade deals, according to the Treasury official. The Deputy Treasury Secretary, Michael Falkender, what a name, said that he expects a lot more trade deals could be announced before President Trump's 90-day tariff pause expires. So this is new news as of this morning. Yesterday, we were even hearing that we might get another update this week. Most likely, people were saying it's going to either relate to China, Eurozone, really that trading block, or potentially Japan, and I'll get into that for a second. We want to see that we reach at least terms of an agreement prior to the expiration of the pause. Stock futures fell Monday amid renewed trade tensions between the U.S. and China. Basically, both sides, like the Spider-Man meme of pointing at each other, we're both accusing each other of basically not holding good with the tentative deal and actually breaking the deal. And then also, not just that, it's the U.S. and the Eurozone, European Union, with the whole just like steel tariffs, aluminum tariffs. So both China and the Eurozone separately are clapping back saying that they're not so happy with us. Then we're clapping back saying we're not happy with them not being happy with us. And in the middle of all of this, everyone's like, well, what's going on with Japan? Because we know that they're going to be meeting before the G7 conference. And it's important that we do, because Japan is very much on tilt. We are witnessing unprecedented losses in Japanese bond markets. Japan's 30-year government bond prices have erased 45% of their value since 2019. This comes as a 30-year bond yield has risen 275 bips to near their highest level since the debut in 2007. Remember, bond prices and yields move inversely. As yields go up, bond prices go down, and vice versa. Over the last year, Japan's 30-year bond yield has surged 100 basis points, creating massive unrealized losses for financial institutions. situations. Remember when this happened in the US about a year and a half ago when all those regional banks were going on tilt? That's what happens when they got in at the improper bond prices, and then all of a sudden they started to drop as yields went up, and they had this unrealized hole, and all of a sudden we just had all these banks go on tilt. So very, very, very similar to what happened in the US, especially in the small regional banking sector. Most likely that is in real time playing out right now in Japan. So many of these banks got in at bond prices that are too high. As bonds drop and drop and drop, the unrealized hole within their balance sheet just balloons and balloons and balloons. People get worried about it. They don't want to be the person with their money in the bank that goes under, so they go take their money out. That makes the whole like the financial situation and really the hole in the bank's balance sheet even worse. And then other people panic and you get literally a good old-fashioned bank run. Unrealized losses on domestic bond holdings for four of Japan's largest life insurance quadrupled in 12 months to a record $60 billion in Q1 in 2025. Japan's bond market is in trouble. It's very much in trouble. And the other interesting thing here is the relationship with the U.S., where in terms of international ownership, Japan owns the most amount of U.S. treasuries, and we know that that's going to be a contentious thing because right now they're on a sinking ship, and the administration is more like, hey, we don't care if you're sinking. We want what's best for us. So this whole situation from an economic standpoint, from a monetary policy standpoint, is going to be very, very interesting, which is why this particular round of talks that we're going to have with Japan seemingly soon before the G7 summit, it's gonna be very enlightening, and like I said, it's actually just going to be a learning opportunity. I'm curious how they're going to decide to play it, but the TLDR here is Japan is on tilt. Now, bringing it back to our market and what to pay attention to this week. Well, not so much our market quite yet. Eurozone CPI came out early this morning, 1.9 when they expected to. So their inflation coming in lower than expected. That's a good thing. Today at 10 a.m. Eastern, we're going to get the JOLTS job openings. Remember, the first week of every new calendar month, you get all the job information and unemployment information and payment information for the previous month. So we're going to be getting the JOLTS job openings for April. But the really big thing right here is Friday, we are going to be getting the unemployment rate, the non-farm payrolls, and the average hourly earnings for May. So Friday's going to be a big day, but in between now and then, of course, the JOLTS job openings, we're going to be getting the non-manufacturing PMI and prices, even the ADP non-farm employment change. And then on Thursday, we're going to be getting the interest rate decision from the European Central Bank. So pretty much every single day of this week, we have some important stuff going down. Though we're not really in earnings season, I just wanted to show you this just in case some of you in here are actually trading these. After the market closes today, we're going to hear from CrowdStrike. Tomorrow, Dollar Tree, MongoDB. Thursday, Cracker Barrel. Broadcom's going to be the big one of this week. Broadcom, ABGO, the second biggest semiconductor play. So Broadcom's the major one of the week. So feel free to screenshot this or go to @eWhispers on Twitter. Not that it really has earnings. We do have some other news. Constellation Energy rallies 15% on a Meta nuclear power deal. Meta has signed a 20-year agreement to buy nuclear power from Constellation Energy. Beginning in 2027, the tech giant will purchase about 1.1 gigawatts of power from Constellation Clean Energy Center in Illinois. Without Meta's backing, the plant was in danger of premature closure. So they probably just swooped in and got a super, super nice deal. So I just wanted to bring it up because obviously I'm already alluding to how good Meta's looking. I mean, just look at this daily chart. The daily chart, that's the definition of a technical breakout, a cup and handle. I've been in this for a while. The Discord knows all about it. Even in here, you guys are excited about it. Yes, we have some technical resistance up here closer to the mid 680s. But according to the options market, we actually have an opportunity to go even higher. So I'm very excited for a potential follow through here. Looks like we're trading at 672 in pre-market. Like I said, my first stop is the mid 680s. But like I said, I think the options market is suggesting it can go even higher. Switching gears a little bit, Elon Musk's Neuralink raises $650 million in fresh capital. So what? One day after stepping down from his government position, 2 days after it, the dude's already raising a shitload of money for his other companies. So he's crushing it. And it didn't stop there. Musk taps investors for billions day after Washington exit. Elon Musk is selling $5 billion in debt for his artificial intelligence startup XAI. So obviously Neuralink, a completely different business venture than what we have here with his AI startup, kind of directly connected to what's going on with Twitter/X. So like I said, couple days of stepping down, he's already raising a lot of money. Now, If you haven't already, sign up for the newsletter. If you're watching this and you're not already on the newsletter, what are you doing? It's 100% free. It's always been free. There's no catch. MattKohrs.locals.com. It's in the description of the video. It comes to your email inbox every single Sunday. I do a quick little qualitative breakdown of the previous week. I give you a cheat sheet of the earnings. I give you a cheat sheet of all the major macroeconomic events. And then most importantly, I give you the seasonality of each individual day, which brings me to today, Tuesday, June 3rd. Over the past 27 years, the bulls have won this day 81% of the time. As in 4 out of 5 years, the bulls have won this day. As in we close higher in the S&P 500 futures market than where we open. The profit factor is an astounding 17.7. This is one of the most bullish individual seasonality days of the entire year. Now, don't sit here and think, oh, okay, that's a guarantee. It's not a guarantee. I'm giving you the odds, 81%. As in there's a 19% chance, there's a 1 in 5 chance that it's actually a red day. But I'm going to tell you, I very much like these odds. When I see seasonality this strong on top of what I'm seeing in the options market and the positioning, we're net call buyers, we're net put sellers. And obviously we have this little structure right here. We have this a call debit spread and a put debit spread. So we have some player basically either betting on a breakout of 5955 or breakdown below 5915. So I'm watching that structure. But when I see this going on with the fact that the recent volume is net call buying and net put selling, and I pair that with seasonality, well, that tells me that the bulls have a better chance than not. Now, obviously, it's not a guarantee. If you watched the update video yesterday, you know that I'm pitching this as the highest probability pathway. I'm at no means saying it's the guaranteed pathway, but to be a successful trader in the long run, you continually want to take high probability pathways over and over again, ideally with low risk and high reward. So that's what the game of trading is. It's knowing the stats, knowing the empirical evidence, knowing the quantitative breakdown, and figuring out the high probability pathway. The high probability pathway today is to the upside. I'll be looking for bullish opportunities. It might come, it might not come, but I know when we have this type of evidence, it pays to be a bull in the long run. Is it going to pay today? Well, obviously, fingers crossed. I very much hope so, but I don't know. We're about to find out. For the remainder of this week, Wednesday, slightly bearish. It's actually closer to neutral. Thursday, more bullish, and Friday, more bullish. So today, very bullish. Tomorrow, neutral/bearish, and then slightly bullish and slightly bullish on both Thursday and Friday. So that's the seasonality for the remainder of the week. And last but not least, actually probably most important, hang on, let me, visibility, we don't need this. Okay, here are the key levels in my humble opinion of the day. As I always do, the green, the red, and the white horizontal lines are the previous trading session, i.e. yesterday's high, low, and close. Those are important technical levels, they're important psychological levels, and really, actually, there's some interesting research suggesting they're important just actual trade levels that a bunch of these bots react to. From there, we also have these white boxes. That's the transition zone. Similar to yesterday, we actually have one transition zone embedded within the other. So we have this larger one, which is created from the two debit spreads, the call debit spread and the put debit spread. Remember, those are not credit spreads. In fact, it's the exact opposite. Instead of betting that we'll be within this range, this player is betting we're going to be outside of the range, either to the upside or to the downside by the end of the day. So it is different than a credit spread. I cannot stress that enough. In fact, it is the exact opposite. So that's the larger zone. And then the smaller zone is the GEX and DEX transition as of market close yesterday. So this is just telling us how market makers are going to have to react, and they're going to react differently outside of that zone. So within this overall white box, even the one embedded within the other, you're going to have very much so like choppy action. Outside of it, bulls are in control up here, bears are in control down here. I do want to let you know, my personal bias is obviously bullish because we see all this positive gamma starting to form. And actually, it's been changing quite a bit this morning. When you start to zoom out, you see all this positive gamma below us, which is quite supportive. If we dip into it, it is suggestive of the fact that market makers are actually going to be buying. So it's going to be mean reverting if we dip at all. So right now, I go on Twitter, I go on FinTwit, I see all these people doomsday, like just They love to put that type of content out there, but in reality, the data is not suggesting it. In fact, the data is suggesting in any legitimate dip, as of right now, based on current option structure, it's to be bought because you're going to be directly supported by market makers. So obviously, do what you want. It's not my money. I'm not your mom, but I'm just here to break down what the actual math of the market is. And I see It's one thing if you want to be neutral and you don't see your opportunity, but to be bearish in this type of environment, if you do it, I mean, best of luck, but like you're literally just fighting the odds. And if you choose to fight the odds, it's similar to, I don't know, betting on green and roulette. It could still hit. It's a stupid bet, but if it hits, it's going to pay well. So if something weird happens and you're on the right side of it, I don't want anyone to lose money, but obviously my job here is to actually give you the legit numbers and the actual breakdown. And right now I'm just here to tell you that the bulls are fully in control. So not only from the stuff we're seeing this morning, but even some of the interesting stuff that we saw yesterday, which a lot of you did watch that update video. So I think we're all kind of on the same page here. So that's pretty much the situation. The market's going to open up in about 3 to 4 minutes. Like I said, right now, the best financial offer for all of you is Take Profit Trader. I have all of my accounts right here. Well, those are my new Apex accounts. Here's my Take Profit accounts. I have 5 Pro accounts and then I have 5 evals. So those are my Take Profits. Here's all my Apex. With the Apex ones, I'm going to do something super, super, super degenerate at market open. And maybe I'll get lucky. Maybe I won't. I don't know. But I'm just here to tell you that right now, the cheapest offer, if you're looking to buy an eval account today, financially, the best offer is going to be TPT, Take Profit Trader. Just make sure to use that code Goonie and make sure you hit apply on the way out, because if you don't, you're going to have to pay like 100%. So if you want the discount, the UI UX is a little bit confusing, but just make sure you're actually hitting the apply button after you type in Goonie. So just want to let you guys know about that. All right, let me switch this up. 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 We'll put up Meta. We'll put up Palantir. Palantir's been absurdly strong lately. Remember, Broadcom is going to be reporting. Avago is going to be reporting right after the market closes on Thursday. So that one's going to be a very much an important topic of discussion. Then where are we on the SPY? The SPY is slightly red while the Qs are slightly green. So let's see if this can hold for another 2.5 minutes. But it looks like the Qs, they might be able to open in the green on the day, slightly above their closing value, 523.21. As always, especially on the indices, I mark out the previous day's high, low, and close just to know where we could be theoretically reacting. So my base case right now is the bulls are in control. Obviously, as new data comes in, I hold the right to potentially switch that up. But as of right now, like I said, in an extensive breakdown in the Discord, not only are the bulls in control, they were yesterday, and now arguably they're even more in control than they were. So I'm looking for things to rippity-skippity doo-dah to the upside. Rippity-skippity doo-dah. Question for you guys. You guys didn't notice it and you were being very, very nice about it, but I was about a minute late to stream today. And the reason I was a minute late to stream today was because I had a call with Bookmap, which is a trader analytics tool, and it tells you a lot about the sitting orders and the DOM, the depth of market, and where the recent volume has been traded. I've seen it in the past. I've never really actively used it. So I just wanted to ask you guys, are you big fans of it? Are you not fans of it? So for those of you who have used Bookmap in the past to track the volume profile and the DOM and whatnot, are you happy with it? Are you not happy with it? I kind of wanted just to get your insights. I mean, the pitch was seemingly interesting to be able to know like where all the sitting orders are. Like I like the analytics and the graphics of it. But I was just curious in here if you guys had a positive experience, a negative experience, where you guys are with all of that. Bitcoin, it's up about 105.5, so recovering off that 102, 103. I use it actively. I love it. Yes, use it. It's awesome. Okay. All right. Bookmap is the best. I'm undecided. It's an okay tool. So I'm not seeing anything negative. You guys are neutral to positive on it. Neutral to positive on it. Interesting. Interesting. All right. I need to do, like I said, my one degenerate thing at market open here. My one degenerate thing. All right. Where are we at? Where are we at? All right. We're about to find out.
Order submitted.
Dingity, ding, ding, ding. The world's largest casino is now open.
Order canceled. Order submitted.
Folks, just like that, you guys heard it. You heard the bot going crazy. You guys think I'm a crazy man, but guess what? It pays. That's how you can pass 20 Apex accounts in once. I have a full breakdown video on a 50-50 strategy that hits slightly less than 50% of the time. And there's the real-time example. You heard the orders go crazy. Bada bing, bada boom. Half of them hit. My 20 hit. Pass the test in one day. Pass the test in one day. And like a lot of people, you think I'm crazy for it. I literally gave the entire strategy away. Where do I have to go over here? At Mac Kohrs. What I just did to pass the test that easily is, where was it? Apex Eval Pass. It's actually the most popular video on this channel. How to pass Apex evaluation in one day, 2025 tips and guide. I literally just did it. Like, not only is there a video up that explains how to do it, I already just right there, 3K on 20 accounts, 60K. It's unrealized, but hey, money's money. If you want to know how, dude, it is honestly comically easy. It took 2 seconds. Like I said, it hits about, you're going to be good like slightly less than 50% of the time. Like, it's like just below. Half of them are going to blow out, half of them are going to hit, and the only situation is where it gets so chopped up that you get screwed, and that's why it's like slightly below. But right there, that's how I have a pass rate of like literally around like 48% or something like that, 47%. It is comically easy. Now, I do want to clarify, if you choose to trade in that way with a performance account, you will never get a payout. It is exclusively something you can do when attempting to pass a test. I want to be very, very, very clear about this. If you do this strategy with a funded account, you will never get a payout. I don't know how to be more direct. I don't know how to be more clear. I don't know how to be more forthcoming about that. But if you do that in a funded account, as in you're now trading for real money, you will not get a payout. They will not approve it. So I don't know, heed my warning, and then don't be the person who's like, well, hang on, it worked here, why do I not do it on that? You're not going to get money. You're just not going to get paid out. They're going to get really, really pissed off at you. So it's worthwhile when you're just trying to pass, but to actually get a payout, you'll never get approved. And don't come crying to me of this. None of these YouTuber gurus will tell you this. Only Matt is out here on some real shit. Yeah. You guys come for me. You come here to this show for just the beacon of truth. The real beacon of truth. How many contracts was that? That was 10 each. It's the max amount of contracts. So I'm saying the max instead of 10. Technically, I traded 10. That's the max on the 50K. But you could do this strategy with any account size. So if you have the 100K account, the 150, it's just max contracts. That's all it is. It's just max contracts. So whatever the account size is, look at how many contracts they allow you to trade, and then you max it out, and then you do the math backwards of what money do you need, and then you add like an extra point in for commissions and whatnot, and then you just set up the ATM, the order there, where you like as soon as you trade, it puts your profit in there, and bada bing, bada boom. Bada bing, bada boom. I got an idea for a video. How to cry in the shower after blowing all your PA accounts in one go. Oh, that's good. We're going to write that down. We are gonna write. That's a good idea. If my producer's in here, write that down for a video idea. How to cry in the shower after you blow all of your PA accounts. That is a very common question I get. They're like, well, I'm ready to cry in the shower. I just don't know how to do it. It's a very important question. We get the Jolt's job numbers at 10 a.m. So that's about 25-ish minutes. 25-ish minutes. Hang on. I did want to see one thing. Right now, 5-minute, 10-minute, 30-minute, 4-hour are all bullish. 5-minute, 10-minute, 30-minute, 4-hour are all bullish on ES and NQ. So right now, price structure and price momentum does favor the bulls in terms of pre-market or post-market to pre-market action. So momentum's bullish. We're on the top side of all the EMAs as of now on 5, 10, 30, 4 on both ES and NQ. Here's a quick little sneak peek. Let me reload this. Let me get out of this. We don't, oh, well, yeah, our boy Rick Santilli should be on at 10, so we don't want to miss that. So let me keep this up here. Here's a look at the flow thus far this morning. We had a nice pump up until 9:31, kind of giving it back right now. And then looking at the S&P 500, pretty much the same thing, a pump initially, and now we're giving a little bit back. But I do want to be clear here. This is only 5 minutes worth of data. It's really not like the most overwhelming amount of data. So let's just see. Maybe we're going to get a little bounce on the NQ here. We might be coming down to some of these EMAs, maybe 500 or something like that. But I don't really plan on doing anything too early today. I don't plan on doing anything too early. We might have some buyers stepping in right about here. This is where it would be kind of interesting to have Bookmap to know if this is a key level or not. I might give it a try to see if I like it. Like I said, I'm familiar with it. I've seen it in the past. It's one of those things I just like really haven't used it. Broadcom's up 1%. I like Broadcom holding. Tesla's in the green. I'll take that. Palantir did this yesterday. It was in the red, but by the end of the day, it was in the green. It also made a new all-time high. So Tesla, I like that it's green. Don't like the direction. Broadcom, I like that it's holding even though other things are getting hit right now. I would love for Meta to go green. I would love for Meta, Broadcom, Tesla, NVIDIA. I want the whole thing to be green. I want to see 5% gains on all of these. So patience. This might be that fucking dip buy of the day. What time is it? 9:36. 9:36. Broadcom, Mag 7 still getting hit. SPY might be bottoming. We're maybe finding some buyers here. Here are my key levels. We're fighting this. We started off slightly green, then we went slightly red. We're battling that out. What else can we throw up here? Oh, I was also looking. So when I was looking at the Bookmap thing, obviously a lot of their thing has to do with a volume profile. And as you could see, here's our volume profile for today. What was the profile yesterday? Oh, the big level of yesterday was right here. So we're actually battling it out at the highest volume node of yesterday at 5936, which happens to effectively be just above the closing value. So literally where the most volume was transacted, apparently. Really? The most volume was transacted on this? I find that surprising. It would make more sense to me that most volume is transacted here, but this is their point of control. They have a big volume spike all the way up here. That must have been a massive order that stopped this run up. So if it stopped it, that had to be a seller. So someone took a huge amount of profit right there. Interesting. This is just the volume footprint. It's nothing really that special. It's just kind of interesting to see where some of the biggest levels overlap. Interesting to see where that occurs. Interessante. That's still all bullish. We don't really need this daily chart right now. Meta made a fresh high above yesterday, but getting smacked. Broadcom's about to hit a new all-time high. It's about 70 cents away, 60 cents away. The all-time high was tagged on Monday, December 16th. AVGO Broadcom, the second biggest semiconductor play, is knocking on the door of a fresh new all-time high. Tesla, maybe a higher low right here. I would like for that to keep going. NVIDIA, same thing, potentially a higher low. Would like to see it take out 143. Palantir hanging out right by its all-time high from yesterday. ASML had a good day yesterday, getting clocked this morning. MSTR maybe a low, but this is a lower low, so I would love for it to get this upside gap fill, but in reality, I need this thing to really get going. Coin, once again, potentially double bottom. Apple not doing anything. Microsoft hanging out at not far away from the all-time high. MSFT crushing it. It's probably the most valuable company right now. Top companies market cap. I think Microsoft must be the most valuable. Yeah, it is. Actually, Apple dropped to third. So the most valuable company in real time is Microsoft, followed by NVIDIA, then Apple. Apple fell all the way to third at $3 trillion. Microsoft is 3.4. Coming in at 4 is Amazon, and wrapping up the top 5 is Alphabet. Those two are pretty close to each other. Meta's more of a distance away. Broadcom's number 8. I feel like Broadcom doesn't get as much love. Like, it's still the number 8 company in the world. Granted, it's the second biggest semiconductor, but look at that. Well, it's actually half the size. Isn't that insane that you could go from 2 to 8 and you lose half your size? Berkshire Hathaway's 10, TSMC's 11, Walmart's 12. Visa's way bigger than I expected. Man, it really does drop off. You go from 3 trillion, and then by the time you get outside of the top 10, you're only at 1 trillion. It's like a 66% drop. But anyway, Microsoft up by about $400 billion on Apple. 400 billion. All right, let's get rid of this, leave that. All right, we're just kind of in this zone right now, not really doing much. We're just in the overall transition zone. So let's just wait. Patience. You could wait for the 15-minute Orbo. You could wait for the 30-minute Orbo. You could wait for the Jolt's job report at 10. But it does seem as if patience will pay. Man, I just would love a ripper of a day. I really would love for us to go all the way up here, dance around, get smacked, make a higher low, then rip to 70, then 85, and then maybe in power hour, we rip all the way up and test that 6,000 mark. I would absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. Oh, brother. Oh, brother. Oh, brother. Oh, brother. Oh, brother. Where are we at? Where are we at? One of my bots almost fired off a signal. I don't have it hooked up to auto trade for me, but it almost fired a signal there. I think it just needed to go 1 tick higher, and it would have fired off a bullish signal. 1 tick higher. 1 tick higher. Do I want to take it?
Order submitted.
Why not? When in Rome. When in Rome. Just a quick little something. Just targeting the current intraday high. Semiconductors going green. I hope so. What I'm trading on right now is all these take profits in the lower right of your screen. Obviously, I'm going to move my risk up here. Well-defined risk, well-defined profit, targeting a key level of the day.
Order canceled.
Bada bing, bada boom, 157, and I just did that on 10 accounts, so another 1.5K right there. Did it on 5 of the evals and did it on 5 of the pros. Just went for a couple points, a nice little technical breakout. Like I said, one of my systems fired, and it was just like a little scalp play, and I literally just targeted that intraday high. Easy peasy lemon squeezies. Easy peasy lemon squeezies, folks. Easy. I love them when they're that easy. Didn't really have to sweat anything. Had minimal risk. Targeted a key level just in case it gets rejected. Couple points. You know, a couple points, a couple 2-3 points here and there. It all adds up relatively quickly. So a nice 150, and we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. All right, did all that. Bang bang day, or is it going to be a bang bang day? We're about to find out. Hey, looks like it was a pretty damn good place to get out. Wait, why is it not showing the trade? Oh, did I somehow? What? Why? Anyway, I got out right there because I was like, well, what if it does get rejected? That's exactly why I targeted this previous high, because there is a non-zero chance that you get smacked like this. So it was actually kind of a perfect exit. Not going to be complaining about that one at all. Is AMC still the play? Absolutely not. You used to spruce it, and I bought a bunch watching your streams. Okay, well, if you watched it, you should have probably also got out when the trend stopped. Folks, times change. New data comes in. Just because something is a good or a bad play at one point in time doesn't mean it's still a good or a bad play in real time. So I just feel as if there's a lot of people who don't have the capability to change with the time. At no point ever did I suggest that AMC was a good investment. I was pretty steadfast in the concept that it was a good active trade, with the emphasis on an active trade, as in you had to manage it, not something that you would ever just blindly buy and pray that it works. That would actually be really, really stupid to do. And a lot of people who did it not understanding or not wanting to believe it. I mean, I think a lot of people saw hey guys, follow the trend, follow the trend, follow the trend. And at the time it sounded good and like, yeah, totally, I'm going to do it. But when the trend broke down, it was just people unwilling to admit it. But if you're still in AMC now, that's just dumb. It's down like 99% after endless dilution. Why in the world would you still be in it? That's just like, it's literally just taking all the money you put into that investment or trade, and you're just lighting it on fire. Hey, Matt, have you been looking into MSTY? Isn't that just the leveraged MSTR? MSTY is just the leveraged MSTR ETF. So it's basically a question of, do you like MSTR? And then the better question than that is, do you like Bitcoin? Tesla's catching a nice bid right now. I would like for Meta to turn back around. Broadcom's holding. Tesla's catching a bid. Nvidia's catching a bid. Palantir's catching a bid. MSTR's catching a bid. So MSTR is the biggest gainer as of right now, followed by Tesla, followed by Nvidia, followed by Broadcom. Even Coin's catching a good 1%. Adventure Joe, third. Shout out. Semiconductors going green. Shout out. Let me scroll back. It looks like I might have missed one. I'm sorry if I did. I guess we've already chatted too much that I've missed it. I love NVDY. Yeah, all these leveraged, like whatever, some of them are like the yield maxes. I'm not the biggest fan. You get enough leverage already in just playing options itself. I don't need leverage on top of leverage. It's just a great way to blow out. Butcher of Wall Street told his viewers how happy he is with his AMC stock. Well, he's also an actual retard. And you can feel free to tell him that I said that if you actually watch his content, which I don't know why you would watch his content, because you're like in serious danger of losing IQ points. There's certain people within this community that it's crazy they get any views because they literally have no clue what they're talking about. And that is, yeah, Butcher of Wall Street. I remember one time I had to debate him on a space call for whatever reason, and he was telling me he hedges his calls by buying the underlying stock, and vice versa. He hedges his underlying stock by buying calls, and that was his hedge. He's just a fucking stupid person. And there's a lot of people. Unfortunately, some of the biggest people with the community are actually really, really, really stupid. Really stupid. And it happens. It happens. Matt, any thoughts on the disconnect between BTC and MSTR, Bitcoin all-time highs, but not MSTR? Yeah, because it's not directly Bitcoin. It's a Bitcoin treasury reserve. So the mechanics of what it is it's not going to be one-to-one. If you're thinking that should be if you think it should be perfectly paired with Bitcoin, it would actually be much lower. If you look at the nominal value of how much Bitcoin they have, MSTR share price would be way, way lower. Way, way lower. So if that's your argument, if you're like, no, it should be a 1-for-1 correlation, you would actually be shorting MSTR right now. MSTR trades at a massive premium relative to how much they hold, and that has to do with their treasury strategy and the anticipation of them buying more, and is it going to keep going up? So there's other factors at play rather than a 1-to-1. If you want a 1-to-1, look at IBIT, or better than that, just go buy Bitcoin itself. Buy Bitcoin itself. But if your base case is MSTR should be a 1-to-1 correlation with how much Bitcoin they currently have, you'd actually be shorting MSTR right now. Don't you know anything about a double long position? It's called a Texas hedge. That's hilarious. I'm going to steal that. I love that. Oh, this is the old Texas hedge. I don't like the leverage plays ETFs. The volatility will decay them all to zero at some point, forcing reverse splits. Well, yeah, but you would never invest in it. You would just use it for like a shorter period trade. You wouldn't be investing in those. because there is endless decay. And like you see that in other things such as like UVXY. So you're only in that for a portion of time. It's very much a trade, not an investment. My sister-in-law needs to come down this weekend and bring me some again. What the fuck are you talking about? A Texas hedge? Matt, you say some, this is a confusing comment. Matt, some people are really, really stupid. Wasn't it you a while ago losing 600K on AMC? Yeah, no, that was pretty stupid. But the trade-off for me was I still built a business off of it. And since then, my trading has made that money back. I don't think anyone else. In fact, one of the people in that, he's still currently down $2 million. And I believe he's trading with a $1,000 count, somehow hoping he'll make his money back. That's the difference is when I do something stupid, I realize it, as most of us should and most of us could, and you pivot and you start to improve. That's the difference. It's this concept of when you're in a hole, stop digging. Hence what I did. Duh. The issue is these same people who are so stupid are still thinking that digging a hole is going to get them out. Who cares about AMC? That's a great question. No one. It's down 99%. GameStop has a far better chance of coming back. As much as I think Ripple is stupid, if I had to, gun to my head, I would put all of my money in Ripple XRP before I put it into AMC. And we know about how much we all fight in this community, about how much I don't like it. I still put not XRP as a little bit better. I still think XRP is bad as an investment, and I still think it's massively better than AMC. That's how much I look down upon AMC right now. It's just endless dilution. If you look at their debt burden, they are in a debt spiral that they will not be able to pull out of. What's going to happen with that company is eventually it's going to declare bankruptcy. You're going to have the bondholders take control of the company, and it'll probably get repackaged up and sold to someone else, and all the equity owners are like just gonna get nothing, absolutely nothing. It's gonna at least XRP has a community where maybe something crazy happens with it. I don't think the odds are high of that whatsoever, but I think the odds are still better than what AMC is. AMC is just a dead man walking. It's effectively a zombie company. At least XRP has somewhat of a shot. And then above both of those is actually GameStop, because they just have so much cash in the bank and they just bought a bunch of Bitcoin. So if Bitcoin takes off, out of those three of this meme type of stuff going on, I would actually go GameStop, XRP, and then AMC deep in last place. Deep in last place. Speaking of being able to pull out, second kid is due in November. XRP is nothing big now. I bought some several years at 50 cents, still holding. Congrats. It's funny how people love to lean on resulting. They have one spark of success and they're like, well, no, this has to prove my overall point. It's in the world of poker, it's called resulting, of basing the quality of your initial decision off of how it ends up. But for example, if you've never played roulette before and you bet on green and it hits and you come away with the information, oh, you should bet on green because it's awesome, it works, you make money. That doesn't make sense. Just because you did something that was a poor decision previously, but it worked out in your favor, that doesn't negate the fact that it was a poor decision. I'm happy you made money, and I think you should put your stop loss right above break even so it doesn't cost you anything, and fingers crossed that it keeps ripping. Obviously I want you guys to make money, but just because you have one data point of success, that doesn't mean it was a good decision. Matt, will you buy GME again? I'm considering it. I need to. I don't know if I'd buy it. I would trade it. But what I need to see is how big the community involvement behind GameStop is, because that was its biggest asset circa 2021. It wasn't the company itself. Obviously, it wasn't the company itself. The world was shut down, and it was like a brick and mortar game reseller, and they sold like whatever action figures. It was never the business. It was the community around it. And I am a supporter of Bitcoin. So my fundamental views of it are now better. I support it obviously more because I support Bitcoin, but I want to see if that community support can come back, because that was the biggest thing. That's why I went crazy, was because of so much community support. So that's what I'm kind of looking for. Poor decisions were made by not selling when it started to drop. Well, of course. Yeah, because everyone wanted it to keep going, because there was dumb fucks telling you it was going to millions of dollars a share, and it was trading at a different price in the dark pools, and there was a real book and a fake book. And the amount of people who fell for that is astounding. I get that there's dumb people in the world, but the fact that there were so many dumb people also willing to bet their own hard-earned money is insane. This idea of trading at different prices and different books and dark pools and short ladder attacks and Ken Griffin's keeping the price suppressed, like it's just idiotic. It is so idiotic, and so many people fell for it. So many people fell for it. And what's crazy is there was many people, myself included, saying, hang on, like, let's let data lead the way. Let's track the shorts. Let's use stop losses. As soon as you said anything like that, as soon as you told people that ape was backdoor dilution, the ape token, the ape whatever shares, they're like, no, it's not. No. How many times did I have to tell people that ape was literally just roundabout dilution, and the amount of people who try to fight it? And what's insane is, like, that wasn't even the crux of the argument. That was like just the base point. Wild. But whatever. They got what they deserved. It is now down 99%. And that's, I guess, the ticket they pay for stupidity. When I started making songs about it is when I sold AMC. No more talking about GME, XRP, and AMC. Okay, well, Angelo, go start your own show then. Interestingly enough, you are not me, and you're also not a member of the production team. So your demands for what this show does or doesn't cover actually means fuck all, which is super interesting, isn't it? Super interesting how that works. I didn't realize you were on the payroll and helping out with the production and the editing. I didn't realize you were me and getting to decide what is or isn't discussed on the show. Sorry about that. Let me get your address. I probably need your direct deposit to set it up, but I didn't realize you were on payroll because I don't see your name here. My apologies for that. I didn't realize you weren't getting your paychecks. Didn't realize you weren't getting. Whoa, Mag 7's looking strong now. While the S&P is actually looking the exact opposite. S&P 500 Delta Flow just hit the low of the day, while the Mag 7 just hit the high of the day. You have 5 minute, 10 minute, 30 minute, 4 hour bullish, 5 minute, 10 minute, 30 minute, 4 hour bullish. Oh, do I really? My signal would fire again, but it's dangerously close to the intraday high. I don't know if I want to chase it. I don't know if I want to chase that. I do have a signal that would fire bullish, and it's pretty much right at the intraday high, so I don't think I'm going to take that one. But what if it ends up being amazing? What if MSTR is pumping there? Whoa, NVIDIA really got going. Okay, semiconductors are looking good today. Broadcom and NVIDIA are pippity popping. MSCR up 2.8. Tesla recovering a bit. I would like this $10 higher just to feel somewhat all right with it. Palantir back in the green. Coin up 1.5%. Microsoft continuing to get closer and closer to a new all-time high. Broadcom, I think, did successfully hit a new all-time high. That alert went off. All right, that's sick. Any thoughts on quantum stocks? Too early? I don't have much deep fundamental thoughts on them. I mean, I think since they have nice range, they could be actively traded. But in terms of like a fundamental breakdown, I don't know enough about the individual companies to have that type of an opinion. Yeah, semis are going right now. Nasdaq's looking good. SPY's getting a bit hit. It has to be either energy or financials. Energy's fine. Financials are getting hit. So that's why the Nasdaq looks good, but yet you have the SPY getting hit. Is financials are dragging it down. Utilities are going down. Industrials are going down. Healthcare was up, now down. Consumer discretionary, consumer staples. Yeah. So tech is looking good. All right, there we go. Where's our boy Rick? Give us Rick. Give us Rick or give us death. All right, the JOLTS job reports just came out. 7.39 million versus 7.11 expected. Better than anticipated.
Good Tuesday morning. Welcome back to Squawk on the Street. I'm Sarah Eisen with Carl Quintanilla. We are live from Post 9, as always, at the New York Stock Exchange. David has the morning off. Take a look at stocks, starting off weaker and then coming
submitted.
Up higher. We're about unchanged right now on the S&P 500. The Nasdaq is outperforming today. It's up about 1/3%, and the Dow's down 52 points. Kind of waiting on some economic data. We'll get the biggie at the end of the week with the jobs report.
Give us Rick.
Take a look at treasuries.
Give us
As
Rick.
we kick off the month of June,
Give
we are seeing
us
some buying
Rick.
today. Yields are a little bit lower, 4.426. We had a good Japanese bond auction. I know we're watching the global picture, and that may be having an impact here.
We
with yields
want
softer
Rick.
across the board. Coming up this hour, we'll talk about it. Jefferies chief market strategist David Zervos joins us with his latest read on stocks and the macro setup.
If they don't give us Rick, I'm going to pop off.
Forecast for U.S. growth.
Shut up, lady.
Plus, we'll talk to the CEO of Applied Digital. This is the AI data center company whose shares skyrocketed nearly 50% yesterday on news of a deal with CoreWeave. In just a moment.
First, though, let's get some jolts and factory orders with Rick Santelli. Hey, Rick.
There he is.
Hi, Carl. Indeed, on this jobs week, job opening labor turnover for April comes in at 7,391,000, above the 7.1 million estimates, and sequentially above
There's
slightly
our boy.
revised 7.2
It's a barn
million
burner,
in
Rick.
the rearview mirror.
It's
That
a barn
is the best
burner.
since just February, because we reversed that March downturn. Now let's look at factory orders. Minus 3.2 expected, minus 3.7 arrived. Weakest since January of last year, and a negative revision from 4.3 to 3.4 for previous month. Take out transportation.
Tesla,
still negative,
new
but a
intraday
bit
high.
less negative, down 0.5%. We're expecting a positive number, down 0.5%, weakest since May of 24. Now, these are durable goods coming up. These are final reads that replace mid-month read. Minus 6.3 remains at minus 6.3.
Semiconductors are having a great day.
Last year. If we look at durable goods ex transportation, a dramatic improvement, up 0.2 equals our last look, and that would be the best since it was up 0.4 in February of this year. If we look at capital good orders, non-defense ex air proxy for capital spending deteriorated by
Q's fresh high
from minus 1.3 to minus 1.5,
We're popping.
making it the weakest going back to February of 23, Feb of 23. And finally, if we reverse from orders to shipments, it remains at minus 0.1%. Right now, we're
Order
looking at
submitted.
392 in a 2-year,
Bot
and
just
after
went
all
long.
the data, we oscillated a bit in terms of price, but we ended up at the same place. That is down 2 basis points. Long end down much more dramatically. Hence, we're looking at some steepening of the curve. 10 years at 441, down 6 basis points. Carl, back to you.
All right, Rick, thanks so much, Rick Santelli. Also new this morning from Atlanta Fed President Bostic talked to reporters a short time ago. He says, quote, pervasive uncertainty calls for a patient policy stance, but depending on how that uncertainty resolves, he says there is still space for one rate cut this year. Bostic also echoed comments from some of his colleagues that it's unclear if the tariff impact on inflation will be a one-time pass-through or something more permanent, which he says he's hearing from business contacts
Mag
who
7
are stuck
Delta
in a
ripping.
wait-and-see
SPY
mode.
really
Also
started
heard
picking
yesterday
up
from
there.
Chicago Fed President Goolsbee,
5 minute,
he's
10
a
minute,
voter
30
this
minute,
year
4 hour
that the
bullish.
PCE
5 minute,
data
10 minute,
may
30
be-
minute, 4
may
hour
have been,
bullish.
quote, the last vestige of the pre-tariff impact. But as for Bostic, Sarah, he says, quote, I am in no hurry to adjust our policy stance.
Yeah, not a voter this 2025 period, but
Bostic
this pretty
doesn't
much
vote
jives
this
with
time?
what the Powell thinking and
Awkward.
lines have been on policy right now, which is wait and see. They just don't see an urgency to cut interest rates because they're not seeing a significant weakening in the job market, and they're waiting to see if these tariffs are going to be inflationary. The good news is we've seen a lot of progress on the downside toward inflation heading into the tariffs. I mean, the last PCE report was very good news when it comes to progress on inflation. The question is, does that hold? You know, economy is very much in focus. Where are we? Remember I mentioned yesterday that all those recession calls were getting downgraded. Just wanted to bring a few key notes and what we're hearing today. So UBS actually said recession probabilities are moving back up, but they're still only at 37%. They're looking at some of the April data like durable goods and housing construction and saying that model has come up a little bit. OECD, you know, the big global think tank, came out today, cut the U.S. growth forecast because of
Looking
tariffs
at
to just
5.955 for this
1.6%
breakout
and 1.5%
from the high.
in 2026. Again, not recessionary, but they expect the growth to slow on
The NASDAQ already
economic
took out
uncertainty, a
that
significant
high.
slowdown in net immigration, a sizable reduction in the federal workforce, all the stuff that we talk about every single day and what we hear about.
Yeah, I mean, 1.6, they were at 2.8 last year. And our friend David Rosenberg today argues if you're lowering this year and next, that somewhere in there implied is a recession. Of course,
Right.
David would go along with that view.
Which is 2 consecutive quarters.
All right, on
negative
NQ,
growth.
the next target
you
from a
look at the count,
technical
where
perspective
people are
would be
putting their money, and Kalshi is a
21,692.
good place to go, right?
Looking
for
at
the
this
betting
breakdown
markets.
right here,
It's been a pretty
Thursday,
big
May
swing.
29th.
We've gone in just a month
Looking for that
from
follow
70%
through all the way
odds of
up.
recession
While on the
to
ES, we're looking
now
for
30.
the high from yesterday.
29%
Once again,
odds of recession this year. That's what's
5955.
basically, you know, go to the end of the chart and you can see that spike. That was, you know, the April Liberation Day spike where it got as high as 69% odds of recession in the betting market. And look how far we've come down to 29%
64,
odds in the betting market.
75.
It's all
There's just
about
a
the
lot of
de-escalation.
junk right in here.
I mean, right now, I think one of the reasons the market is flat is we're waiting to see if there's when that call is between Xi and Trump. Remember, Eamon Javers, our reporter, suggested yesterday. He
We're
reported
just at the
yesterday
high
that that's gonna
volume
happen
node
soon.
still.
Those are the kind of headlines that move us away from recession. If we can get the trade deals and sort of eliminate some of the uncertainty that would cause businesses to not pull back and to do widespread layoffs. And so far, they have been waiting and seeing, just like the Fed. That's the kind of stuff that'll improve the outlook.
Right. Let's continue that conversation with Jefferies' chief market strategist, David Zervos. David, good to see you.
Good to see you, Carl.
I wonder how much
Good to see you,
weight you're
Carl.
putting on this phone call and whether or not that really gets the needle moving before we see some of that bleed through to hard data.
You know what, Carl? I think the needle is moving. It's been moving. This has been a tactical trade negotiation from the beginning. And I think where a lot of folks got twisted up is they took the opening gambit as a literal move and said, oh, this is where we're going to end up, which was really a worst case scenario. It was an attempt to drive people to the table in a negotiation, and the table is set. And we are seeing lots of folks from all over the world coming to that
So we are
table
getting a bit of a
and
technical
resetting
breakout
the
on NQ.
trade,
And now we're quickly
structure,
diving.
so that many of these imbalances
Is
that
it
have been in
like
place
yesterday
for
where we're
decades
getting the
get
post 10
reset,
a.m.
much
reversal?
like they were reset in the 19th.
All right, shut up. Oh, do I just want to cut this and chill for a second? Or do I want to see a VWAP test? How do I want to handle this?
Order canceled.
I decided to cut it in the short term to not be dumb like yesterday. I decided right here, I went from up 150 to down 350. I cut it relatively very, very quickly just because I'm trying to learn from yesterday where yesterday it was between like 10:08 and 10:15 that we saw that reversal. So I'm trying to see what the hell is going on now. Mag 7, not that impacted, but the SPY is now diving. Someone is selling a bunch of calls. Yes, some puts are being purchased, but more so we're seeing calls. That is very, very dramatic. Very dramatic. I wonder if this is a fake out. And I'm thinking that just because the Mag 7 is pretty much not impacted, even though price really took a hit there. I just wanted to give myself a second to see.
Order submitted.
All right. If the bot fires again, I'm going to take it just because if this is a brutal fake out, it's a brutal fake out. I have a pending order just in case we recover enough, but we haven't quite hit my level.
Order submitted.
What the fuck? Oh, it just went long again. Okay.
Order submitted.
All right. I am long 2, as you can see right here. So I want to scale out of 1 relatively quickly. And then if I could have 1 runner, I want 1 runner. So the entire concept for me here is to lock it in, move my stop to break even. And then if I could catch a runner on the day, I catch a runner on the day. The only other thing I need to do is actually protect my downside in case this is completely wrong. Completely wrong. So let me just adjust some of these orders. Okay, cool. That's a bit better. So that's the plan. As you can see, I am long 2. That's the green. It means you're long. And then obviously 2 means I have 2 contracts. I'm trading the ES, which is the S&P 500. I try to protect myself. I got out of the 1 trade really quickly just because that's what I messed up yesterday. So I'm trying to learn from it. Obviously, if I held the position, it looks like I would have most likely been fine. But you never know. Like if you trade in that manner, like even if you're fine 99 times, it's that 100th time that you blow out anyway. So even though I probably could have held that one, I think in terms of risk management, my cut was still the right move because once again, it only takes 1 time for it to like all blow out. But what I'm doing here, like I said, my entire plan is I'm long 2. I want to lock in 1 where I just saw a bunch of trades. So like where I'm trying to lock it in, there's actually a lot of market interest there today. Right here, you could see, well, this is SPX, but you could just see right where we drop. That was the high volume node of the day, as in most people transacted at SPX 5940. So I'm looking at the drop at the 1 minute. Hence, I put my order in just below it, just in case we get rejected. So my fill is just below the major volume node of the day. And then if it hits, sick, because then I can move my stop up to break even or very close to it, and then I get a free ride. This particular trade goes awry if we don't even get back up there and we just get smacked from here. That's where I get completely screwed. That's where I get absolutely screwed. So we're going to see right here, we are having a very difficult battle at 59.40. We got up there, started trading, resistance. We pop back up to it after that 10 a.m. result, resistance. It vomited right when someone sold a bunch of calls. So like I say, I am trying to claw back a little bit of my loss here by locking this one in, and then I have a runner. And then if it runs, it runs. If I could get that breakout, cool, sick. And if not, my point here is you never know the next bar. You don't know about the breakout or the breakdown. So you identify key levels. You try to play it appropriately. You try to not overstay your welcome, but you try to also simultaneously not understay your welcome, which I think is an important thing. If you're a trend following trader, you got to follow the trend. You got to follow the trend. Come on. Lock it in. Couple more points. Couple 2-3 points.
Order
there
filled.
we go. Nice. Okay. So now I locked I'm at the point where I'm break even on the day if I were to lock in here, but I cut my realized loss in half. So just going for small little base hits, moving my stop up on a new intraday high. I will move my stop to break even. And then if I have a runner, I have a runner. And if it reverses, well, at least I made my loss on the day a little less painful. And the reason I was so confident to be on the bullish side of things, see right here, this is right where I got out, was just in case there's a rejection. And if there is a rejection, hey, there's a rejection and that sucks. But that's why I scaled out of one specifically at this level, just because that's where most people are trading. And it also happens to be roughly aligned with the green-red move on the SPY. The Qs are clearly in the green. NVIDIA's looking great. Broadcom's looking great. Tesla was looking great. It got hit. MSCR is holding well. Meta couldn't look better. I mean, dude, this is the day of semiconductors. This is the day of semis, dude. Broadcom and NVIDIA. SMH as a whole has to be amazing. Look at that. How's Micron? Looking great. Intel looking great. Qualcomm looking great. TSMC, TSM, whatever the hell it is. Yeah, also looking pretty decent. But the two biggest ones, Broadcom and Nvidia, are on the screen now, and they're just looking awesome. They're looking awesome. If you're just joining in right now, if you're joining it, oh, someone called it out. Thank you. It said, change your stop to 1. How do...
Order canceled.
I'll just cancel it. Order cancels order 1. Yeah, good call out. Whoever's reminding me, there was that I only dropped one. Thank you. So
Order submitted. Order submitted.
All right. Thank you for noticing that I had the wrong amount of contracts up. I appreciate that. But all right, let's get off this OCO. OCO stands for order cancels order. So when one of the orders hits, it cancels the other order. That's what the OCO stands for. Order cancels order. 43. Okay. Slowly but surely, I'm going to be moving my stop up to break even. And then on enough of a push, I'll move it truly to break even. And then from there, I really don't care. It's just it's a free play. So got a little bit screwed over by this 1006 thing. But hey, it happens. Life gets crazy like that. Hopefully I can make it back. I mean, technically I'm in the net green right now, but I'm not at my intraday high value, which was $150. I have about one more. If it makes a new intraday high, the accounts will be at a new high. So let's see if this can actually go. And then I just obviously want to make it riskless. And we're going to go from there. I'm getting a new, not a new intraday high, but very close to it. The SPY's almost at a new intraday high. Both Broadcom and Nvidia are at new intraday highs. Obviously, exciting if you're bullish the way I am. Meta, I would love for that to pick up. MicroStrategy strong. Tesla just fucking bounced back. It got really smacked there at 350. I just want everything to rip today. Mag 7, like I said, this is how we knew it was a bit of a fake out, because the Mag 7 held pretty nicely, and we're actually close to getting another intraday high. And look at this. Whoever faked us out, that was brutal. Look at all those calls sold. They waited, and then someone bought them all back. That's some fucking trickery right there. Someone dumped a big position. They might have been rolling it out. They might have sold shorter dated calls to buy longer, like something like that. That was some trickery. I bet it was the freaking dark pools. I bet it was those dark pools, you know? All right. Well, as you can see, the ones I'm trading on right now I have 10 take profits, 5 are evals, 5 are funded. Right now, if you want to trade with someone else's money, take profit. Out of the firms that I use, this is the best financial deal today. If you're buying an account today, use that code GOONY to get 30% off, and you do not have to pay an activation fee. So basically, when you pass the test, and ideally you will, because you're a lights out trader, it will be a free upgrade from an eval to a funded account. And then even to buy your eval, you're going to get 30% off if you use that code GOONY, pinned to the top of chat in the description of the video. Friendly reminder though, to actually apply the code. The way their UI and UX works is like you can type it in, but it's then not auto applied. You have to type it in, then hit the apply button on the website. So just a little bit of a reminder about that, dude. These semiconductors have no chill. They're just going, brother. They're just going. Look at that. That's a new all-time high on Broadcom. And on, let me open this up. All right, we are above that volume node. The biggest volume node of the day, as in where most transactions have occurred, we are above that on the S&P 500. It's not a bad deal. Now we're getting into the low volume where no one knows what's going to happen. And overall, from the options perspective, we're still in no man's land, but I'd be looking for maybe another 15 points from here. That's the top of the transition zone. Really what it is more specifically is this giant call debit spread. That's actually a little bit smaller in size, but you can see they're long calls. They sold calls on the top, so that's a debit spread. That is 5955 spread by 5960. This player wants it to break out, or specifically, they also want it to break down. They want it to break. I could probably show you better in the gamma area right here. They want either a breakout or a breakdown. They just don't want it within this zone. They do not want us today to end between 5955 and 5915. They just, all they care about is either breakout, breakdown, and no to this middle zone. SPY new high. SPY new high. Right. Interessante. All right, let me see what I could do over here. Let's see what I could do. Do I need to... Why is this not working? Hello? All right, my Weeble is acting like dog shit right now. So there's always that. That's fun. Oh, I feel like I should be selling some premium. I feel like I should be selling some premium. What do I want to do? What do I want to do? What was the low of the day? Not in love with it. Definitely not in love with this. But remember, the seasonality of the day is absurdly bullish. It is absurdly bullish. All right, we did that. Here, if you're in the Discord, let me take a quick screenshot so you can see what the hell I'm up to. So you can see what I'm up to. And then Piper also fired, so I'll be giving you that as fast as I possibly can. Folks, if you aren't already, well, that's now updating. Come on. Why is all my tech deciding to update today? All right, SPY hit a fresh high. Q's almost did. Broadcom and NVIDIA are clearly the main winners of the day. And now my Discord's just crashing. Seriously? How many updates does Discord need in a week? How many possible updates does this thing need? All right. All right, all right, all right. All right, there's that. We're slowly but surely getting done what we need to get done. Slowly but surely, we are taking care of business. Oh, here we go. What is today? June 3rd, I believe, all day, in fact. I believe all day. Okay, if you are in the Discord, Piper fired. If you are in the Discord, I placed my trade. If you're on stream, you know that I am just long and strong right here. Oh, I am net green. I'm back up to a new intraday high on these accounts. All right, whatever. I moved my stop to break even. Moving my profit target up a little bit. Worst case scenario, actually, I would love for it to be 3 points in the money. I can't quite do that yet. I think 3 points in the money for me would be closer to like 50, 49 in here. I guess I could do it if I really wanted to. It's struggling a little bit here. How deep's the dip going to be? The dip could be... I think I need to give it a second to breathe, but the fact that I have a realized loss of 180 right now, it just makes me want to move my stop up by 3 points to pretty much account for that. So the account on the day is break even if possible, but I don't want to be too aggressive with it, because if we do get this breakout runner, like my base case is still testing 59, 55, 59, 60, somewhere in here. So I don't want to be so aggressive with it, because I mean, it could just bounce off 3 points below where it is now. That's the volume node. I just want to give it a little bit of an opportunity to breathe, just so I have a chance of hitting the next major open interest level. So just calm, cool, collected. Tesla not doing what I wanted to. NVIDIA's looking great. Broadcom's looking great. Even Coin's looking great. MSTR is looking good. Meta's not doing it. Meta and Tesla are kind of screwing me up a little bit today. while Broadcom is the hero of my account. Oh, okay. So we're in a weird situation where the SPY made a fresh high here at 1018, but the NASDAQ didn't. So a little bit of a divergence between our two favorite indices. So let's see if we can actually get a little bit of a follow through here. I want a little bit of a follow through. Okay, the Mag 7 has gone flat, so it's not bearish, but it definitely lost that bullish push. Well, it's swinging up a little bit right now. And then let me go back to this. Let me show you the SPY. Okay, the SPY ripped to new intraday high, pulled back, seemingly putting in a higher low. And now in real time, we're seeing a bit of a pop. So let's see if we could actually get a follow through here. 5 minute, 10 minute, 30 minute, 4 hour bullish. ES is trying to break out of that high from yesterday. Right here, you could see it. This high that we got right before market close, you could see it better on the 4 hour or on the 30 minute. We are knocking on that breakout. And then just above that, we have a bit more resistance. So if you're watching ES, 5955 and then 5957. So just below 60, we just have some technical resistance that I'm hoping the market could just rip through. Now, on the other hand, the NASDAQ is actually holding its breakout. You can see right here. Wrong way. Yeah, potentially the wrong way. Let me move this down. Not much, just a little bit of a fake. Maybe hopefully this is just a patience play. Hopefully this is just a patience play. All right, that looks fine. Dude, fucking Broadcom and look at Broadcom and just it keeps going. Bottom left, top right. Bottom left, top right. Broadcom is making me a killing right now. I'm up 21,000, 114% on Broadcom. It is just murdering for me, which is good because I also have MSTR calls, which are not looking so good. And Tesla, which isn't looking so good. So I kind of need that just to buoy out my account. I wish I just played that. I wish. Okay. Well, SPY, keep going. I really just, once again, this current trade isn't going to cost me any money. It's a question of how much money is it going to make me. I made 3K on all these Apex, like the evals, which is super easy to do. I don't know why so many people have issues passing. It really isn't that hard if you just spend a little bit of time thinking about it. I have a whole video breaking it down on how to easily pass Apex. Take profit is more difficult because you can't pass in one day, and there's also a consistency rule. So you have to be a little bit more mindful about that, which actually, okay, that's what I'm going to do to limit my max. 32, 70, 32. I'm in a 47. I guess my theoretical max is all the way up here on the day. But do I really want to go for that? Do I want to go for that? I'm not really allowed to go past that because of their consistency rules. So anyway, theoretical max, and then I might get out earlier just because I know that there's some like resistance we could be running into. But what really matters is the fact that my stop is at break even, and this trade isn't going to cost me any money. If anything, I want to move it up to this recent swing low because that would make me net green on the day. But the current runner up almost 10 points, up almost $500, which puts me at net 250. So I'm really what I'm looking for. I'm giving away the trading plan. I'm looking for a $12 push, a 12-point push all the way up to the top of this transition zone, which guess what? Just so happens to be bada bing, bada boom, this particular call debit spread, not a credit spread. It's the exact opposite. A lot of negative gamma over there, a lot of positive gamma right there. It's creating this node situation. That player wants the breakout and the rip. So that's my next watch, which is exactly why it's the top of this zone. This is the top of my transition zone. And at that point, that's when things become legit bullish. And we have the opportunity of 70, of 85, maybe even of 6,000. But first, I'm looking for this breakout of the transition zone. Please explain the consistency rule. It's the one rule stopping me from using props again. It's really not that difficult. You could read it in the FAQ, and I have a breakdown video of it that explains it on. It's check the description of this video. There's links to the other channel where I have the real explanation, but bro, it's a call credit spread. No, it's not. I don't know. Like, why? I know that I shouldn't let this bother me, but it really does that people like this say things so confidently, and yet they are literally wrong. They are 100% wrong. Similar to yesterday when someone was trying to tell me that NQ contracts are cheaper to trade than ES contracts. And people say things so confidently, like they swear on it, and yet they're wrong. And I get that in many things in life, but to act that way when your money's on the line, no, you're wrong. You're stupid. You don't know what you're talking about. Like, I just don't, I don't get it. Wouldn't a better thing be to be like, hey man, how do you know that this is a call debit spread instead of a call credit spread? Like, why not try to be like, okay, like, why are we having a difference here? No, they didn't. It's still a condor. Oh God, you're so fucking stupid. You realize condors and iron condors are the opposite of each other, right? Just because it has the name condor in it doesn't mean it's the same play. Oh, man. Like, at a certain point, you feel bad for them and you want to help them. And then, I don't know. I don't know why people... I don't know. To everyone else in chat, besides this one dimwit, it is a debit spread. It is not a credit spread. And then to the one dimwit in chat, I don't know, trade. If you truly think it's a credit spread, well, trade it and we'll see how it plays out for you. But it's not going to play out well for you because you have no idea what you're talking about. Like, to the point that you can't even read Spot Gamma's breakdown properly, which is the insane thing about this conversation. But to each their own. That's the fun thing, is you could trade your account, I'll trade my account, and if you think you can understand the data and the metrics well, hey, put your money where your mouth is. I wish you the best of luck. Matt, it's called the Dunning-Kruger effect. Yeah, I'm well aware. Unfortunately, I've seen it a lot, and like I think in many aspects of life, it doesn't matter. But what's weird is we're in a game where your money is being like directly bet. Like, whether you do or don't know something is massively important to your actual net worth. So you think people would put more effort into it. Like, if we were debating something that is truly like subjective, and hey, like, you have your opinion, I have my opinion, like, cool, like, whatever, life goes on. But this is an objective thing. If you are looking at this and you go to this right here, they have long calls at 5,955. They have short calls at 5,960. When you have long calls at a lower strike than your short calls, that is a debit spread. And that takes 30, maybe 60 seconds to understand. And then if you invert it, as in you sold the other ones and bought the other ones, like if you invert this position, if this top bar was on the left and if this bottom bar was on the right, that would then be a credit spread, as I've now explained 4 or 5 times. And then yet it blows my mind day in and day out that there's people in chat after you explain it time and time again, like, nah, bro, that's just not how I look at it. That's not how I look at it. Okay. I don't know. Congrats. That's not how you look at it. Like, I don't know what else I could possibly say to that. Like, good luck with you in your trading career. I have a funny suspicion that it's going to be short-lived and non-successful. Just explain the one that you pay for. Yeah, you pay for the more expensive one and you're credited on the cheaper one. Hence why it's a debit spread, because you're paying a debit rather than receiving a credit. It's all in the name. It's secretly all in the name. Oh, brother. Oh, brother. Oh, brother. Oh, brother. Some people are tough to help. Right here. Call spread. Put spread. See, this is what's interesting is for people to say, like, where in the highlighted sentence does it even say credit spread? This is what's so fucking fascinating to me is that people pull conclusions that's not even there. Spot Gamma is a very, very advanced tool run by some of the smartest people within the markets I've ever met. When they put something up, they're right. And then yet we have people who are just pulling the wrong information in it. The one interesting position update for today is Captain Condor, the name that they just gave that Discord group, who is with a 2,000 lot, blah, 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 call spread, put spread. We would look for SPX to tag one of these levels today, possibly driven by a mild reaction. They're looking for it to tag, as in to hit it and ideally go farther. Nowhere in this does it say credit spread. It says call spread. That's inherently true with a credit spread or debit spread. You have to be able to read like what is what, and people just don't. They don't. Like if you have to have some ability for critical thought in this game, because if you don't, you're just going to get absolutely screwed. I just, and unfortunately, that's exactly what we saw in the AMC GME. We're right now seeing it in the Ripple community, is so many people that are like so unabashedly confident that they are right. And then like 4 seconds of research just proves it wrong. Like, I don't get it. It scares me. It really, really does. Because like inherently, if they're engaging, that means like they have money on the line. So they're betting money without knowing what the fuck that they're doing. Like that. Does no one else see like a problem with that? Is that we have all these people engaging in the market? Imagine going to a casino and not knowing how to play blackjack or roulette or craps or poker, and then yet you bet a good portion of your life savings that you understand that game. Like, I don't know. It doesn't seem to bother as many other people as it bothers me, but that's just like, it can't be a good system. It can't be a good setup. But hey, to each their own, I guess. Rants in his sleep. I probably do. Probably drives my wife fucking crazy. No, I definitely rant because like it's these type of people that then feel the need to teach other people, and then inherently the wrong information gets out there. So it's one thing if one person doesn't know what they're doing and it's just their loss, but then you have people like that who have the confidence to attempt to teach other people, and then they teach them the wrong thing, and then before you know it, you have this entire whatever internet community of people who don't know what the fuck they're talking about, and then they all get like upset when they're losing money, and they're like, well, I don't know, well, why would we? It's, well, you didn't know, you didn't start on the right square one. It's just super dangerous. Not only do they bet, but they tell you they somehow know better when you've been at the table for 18 hours straight. Yeah, I guess that's a better metaphor. It just fucking blows my mind. Blows my mind. Not a loss until you sell. Technically true. I guess you could get blown out and margin called, but until then, still not a loss. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. You are not wrong. All right, are we picking back up with vengeance? Mag 7 slowly trending down after a nice rip. The SPY dipped and now bouncing a bit here. SPY trying to fight back. We might be getting another higher low right here on SPY. We pumped, we pulled back, a little bit of a valley setup. Same thing potentially on the Qs. Really, the Qs were leading us higher up until whatever time this is, 10. Since then, the SPY's actually been the stronger one with a fresh high, while the Qs have yet to make a fresh high. Broadcom and Nvidia still looking awesome. Tesla, not so much. MSTR is looking great. Coins looking great. Apple, not so much. Microsoft, not so much. Palantir, not so much. ASML's trying to recover. Netflix, not so much. RUM, going back for $9, a nice 1.8% gain. Amazon was decent, getting hit now. DJT, slightly green. Qualcomm, another semiconductor play looking good. Ripple's in the green. Solana's in the green. Bonds are bouncing a little bit. Oil's chilling at 63, recovery over the past couple days. Fall is just above 18. Man, I would love for this to go. Come on, old Tesla. Old Tesla.
Order submitted.
All right, that order, which has not been hit yet, is it's from the bot. My financial health is in your hands. Should I take the bot trade or no? Or should I remove the order? I put the order right where the signal would fire. I know where it fires because I made the bot myself, so I know exactly where it will turn. But if it does fire, it's a bullish trade. Unfortunately, it's a bullish trade pretty close to the intraday high. So what are you guys thinking? How lucky? My financial future is in your hands. Should I take it? I need a thumbs up or a thumbs down. This is a community trade. Do I take the signal or do I let this signal pass? It is a bullish signal that will fire close to the intraday high. I generally don't like buying intraday high breakouts, but that's why I'm turning it over to you. KM says, don't trust it. The McGee's is saying yes. Don't trust Skynet. I mean, no. Wait for the break of the daily high. This one, to be fair, the bot doesn't take in intraday high or lows into account in a computation. It just so happens that the signal is very, very close to it. Very, very close to it. Are we talking about ES? Yes, it's on ES. All right, thumbs up, thumbs down, thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up, sideways. So there's a few more thumbs ups than there are down. My bot also went long. Don't trust me, Gary. Wait for your pitch. Well, technically that would be the signal. The signal hasn't fired, but I put the order right where the signal would fire. I'm still just in that one position, and if it goes up, it might trigger it. I have it pending right now. It's just waiting there. All right. How certain is this candle closing? It's a very, very, very uncertain candle. All right. Mag 7 picked up a little bit, not the most. S&P 500 picked up a little bit, potentially putting in a higher low, but also now maybe putting in a lower high. We don't know if there's going to be that follow through. 5 minute, 10 minute, 30 minute, 4 hour bullish. 5 minute, 10 minute, 30 minute, 4 hour bullish. And I'm still eyeing up this level all the way up here at 57. I'm still eyeing it up. Still eyeing it up. I'm a bot. I'm going long. Hell yeah, brother. So far, I've spent all morning on exit plans. Entry is less than 50% of the game. In a certain sense, I kind of believe with that. I think there's like a further discussion to have there. But yeah, I mean, inherently, well, you're saying exit plan, which to me is more of like, you're basically saying I spend more time on my risk management. So I'm going to agree with that. Shout out to Adventure Joe. Received D Nice. You got a membership from Adventure Joe. That's very kind. Very, very kind. Well, we'll see. 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 All right. I'll leave the order right where it is, and we'll go from there. You can't exit without entering. True that, brother. True that. Mag 7 kind of flat. NASDAQ kind of flat. S&P 500 popped, dropped, popped. Small drop right now. Let's see if it's another higher low or if this is just a lower high and we get destroyed here. We are above the main volume node of the day, but maybe a little dip to 45 in between these two nodes. We have this node at 45. We have this node at 44. Maybe I can make this bigger and better show you too. So the big node of the day in terms of where most people transacted was 59.40. Then we have a node here at 43.75. We have another node up here at 44. Low volume at 44 and some change, where it's oddly finding support. It's finding support at the low volume node, but we're getting going. Maybe I should have bought there. Maybe I should have front run the signal. Maybe I should have front run the signal. Hasn't gone yet? I mean, if I did do that buy, that would have been smarter. I could have bought at 45. I'd already be up 2 points and my risk could just be break even and I could be running for the intraday high. Coulda, woulda, shoulda, brother. Coulda, woulda, shoulda. Coulda, woulda, shoulda. All right. Looking for the SPY to make a new intraday high and looking for the Qs to take out the 1018 high, which is the second high point of the day. But really, we've just been kind of range bound on the NASDAQ, while the SPY has a little bit more of a constructive setup. NVIDIA clearly range bound after a nice pop. Yeah, Broadcom probably doing the same thing. New all-time high on Broadcom. Coin is going up 5.3%. Oh, another new all-time right here. Broadcom leading semis higher. I would love for Tesla to get going. Meta is unfortunately taking a bit of a hit after a nice breakout yesterday. Where's Palantir? Palantir's down slightly. Apple's barely green. Coin is going. Coin's going. Broadcom's going. Oh.
Order submitted.
All right. The bot took that trade. The bot took that trade. All right, just going for the intraday high on that secondary trade because why not? Why not? Why not? Why not? Why does it not show? Is it in the data series? I'm curious why it's not showing the exact entries and exits. I thought it would be here. Yeah, plot executions, markers only. I don't know what's not showing it. Like generally, I don't know, whatever. So with that secondary trade that the bot just suggested, I am targeting the current intraday high just in case there's a rejection there. This is what did it actually go long at? It went long at 58. So that's small. It went long at 58, the second trade. Especially but I don't know. The way this system is sometimes it could be a big target because like maybe the extreme of the day is that far away. We just happen to be in a circumstance where this one's actually relatively close. So that's a bit of a bummer. A wee bit of a bummer. All right, just doing some reasonable risk management here, but yeah. The way this system is, it's basically, it reads momentum, and then when momentum exceeds a certain level, it then tries to target the extreme of the day. In this particular case, the extreme of the day isn't that far away, so it's not going for much, but there are certain...
Order canceled.
All right, so that one locked in, and then I still have the runner from earlier. But anyway, coming back to the system, sometimes there's enough momentum and then the extreme of the day is really far away and then that would be the target. So it's looking for either the extreme of the day or just a recent higher low point. It just so happens in this particular case, when it finally had enough momentum to fire, it went for the recent high, which is also the intraday high, which was actually really close. But whatever, another $50 is another $50 and the accounts are looking pretty decent right now. Pretty decent right now. And then... so that one was still above its break even. The way they do this order management is a bit weird because the one I got into, it kind of does a first in, first out type of a thing. So where it's showing my average price is actually that second fill, and it's saying that I locked in this first one. But in reality, I would have treated them actually separately. But regardless, we are fine. We are fine. We are fine. We are fine. I can lower this a little bit now. All right, SPY, new intraday high. Q's almost a new intraday high. Almost. SPY, new intraday high. Avago, Broadcom, AVGO, ripping. Coin, ripping. NVIDIA, consolidating after rip. I wish Tesla would wake the fuck up. I wish Meta would wake the fuck up. So semiconductors are crushing it, and coin is also crushing it today. Those are the real high flyers of the day. And bullish, 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 bullish. We are working on a technical breakout on ES right now. We have a little bit of a hiccup at 55. We have another bit of a hiccup at 57. Right now, ES is trading above that, which kind of makes me a bit more interested. Well, we could leave that for a second, but the next level is potentially 75. So 75 and 57 I'm watching. And then on NQ, we have a nice technical breakout. And the next level I'd be watching there is roughly 21,692 or 93. So those are some of the technical levels I'm watching. From an options flow perspective, Mag 7 is flat. SPY just popped and almost made a new intraday high on that delta flow. It looks like no one's touching puts, but people are aggressively buying calls. They're buying 0 DTE calls and some longer dated calls as well. If it's anything like yesterday, my best guess would be calls for this Friday if we're talking about non-0 DTEs. If we're talking about non-0 DTs. All right, we just hit a level at 50, but I just want to remind you, even though that's an important psychological level that I would bet people react to, the key options level is 55 to 60, which, just to be clear, I know that there's one naysayer in the chat right now, but it is very much a debit spread. It is not a credit spread. Spot Gamma is not calling it a credit spread. It's just saying it's Captain Condor, which is the name given to that Discord group that they did the write-up on in Wall Street Journal. So if you are reading Spot Gamma, they never call it a credit spread because it's not a credit spread and they know what they're talking about. I think anyone with eyeballs would know it's a credit spread, and it seems as if there's one lone wolf in chat who is just hell-bent on calling it a credit spread, which it is just clearly not. It is a debit spread. That player very much wants a breakout. They either want a breakout above 50 or a breakdown below 15. 59, 5955 or 5915. They want the market to go outside of those bounds. Don't you mean to call credit spread? Yeah, no, that's right. Sorry, this whole time I just never knew what I was talking about, and that's what I meant. That this whole time I do stand corrected. Oh, Broadcom, look at this puppy. Before, when I showed it to you, it was up 20K. It's now up 25K and counting. It's up 136%. I got in on May 22nd. I've been in this for a bit, but hey, it's paying. Patience pays. Patience pays. And now we're just waiting. Literally, I'm just waiting for halfway through this region. They bought the 55s. They sold the 60s. That's why I cut it in half and just called it 57.5. All right. New intraday high on both the SPY and the Qs, which means I have to... Oh, I'm finally green on my Q calls. And I'm almost green on my SPY calls. Hell yeah. Good day to be me. Good day to be me. All right, what do we have going on? Do I need to do some backwards math here? Okay, that math doesn't seem right. That math does not seem correct. Did I do my math wrong? No, I didn't do it wrong. That's right. It's roughly right. Round up, round down. Close enough. Yeah, okay, that's the max I could go for. This really is my entry. I don't need this anymore. Do I just want to move my stop up on this? I could just target this low. I could move my stop up to only 1 point, and then that would mean no matter what, I'm up $400 on the day, which is a nice day. It's a real nice day to do that. All right, I'm going to move my stop up. There. 54.5. Do I just... I know it's really close. But do I just go for it? Do I just move my stop up to break even now and just do another lottery ticket play? And if it goes, it goes. I mean, I know it's crazy close right now. Crazy close, which is why I'm a little bit biased to giving it a breather. 57. I can move it up to 57. 56. Okay, so if it vomits and I get tagged, I'm out $100. So that would mean my net gain on the day is $350. So no matter what, it's guaranteeing green on the day. But yet I'm not so aggressive that I at least have a shot for this to run. So I'm basically 60. How close are we on these levels? We're getting close to my next major test. My next major test is coming up somewhere in this 5-point region between 55 and 60. Like I said, I've roughly just cut it in half. We don't have much volume up here yet. Could easily be a dip to 45, could be a dip to 47. And in either of those cases, I'll probably get tagged out or I'll be really, really close to it. But this is what I'm looking for. And then that's just the end of the transition zone. If the market can get above and hold above, then I'm watching 70, 85. And I would actually expect things to pick up as the player. Oh, Mag 7's popping. Look at this. Calls are now getting sold. Calls are being purchased while puts are starting to get sold. So we're adding positive delta, removing negative delta. Things are looking a little bit spicy. A little bit spicy. Oh, that was a $1,000 move. That was quite a bit in NQ. Well, had a horrible trading day yesterday on my SIMDA funded accounts. Today is way better. I passed 20 Apex accounts. It's very easy to pass these. And then I have 5 funded accounts on Take Profit and 5 evals, and I'm trading them all together, which is why I'm capping myself at the 1,500, because your goal is 3K. They have a 50% consistency rule, so there's really no mathematical advantage for getting more than 1.5K in a day. So that's where I'm capping myself. If it happens. I don't know if it will. For me to get the 1.5K, I would need quite the move. Which is, that's pretty freaking close. I don't know if it's going to happen for me because there's just such a high chance on the initial test of getting rejected here. I think it's a low odd scenario that we push up and break with no issue whatsoever. I think that would be a rarity. Of course, it could statistically happen, but right there, we ran into 54. Like, just the chance of running into some mess here, it's just high. Not a guarantee. Unfortunately, it's just high, which doesn't spell the best for my very close profit target, or my stop loss, I should say. You could see it a bit better here, just real close. So maybe I get lucky, but whatever. You can put yourself in these maybe I get lucky situations when you're putting your stop no matter what in the money. So I'm making money today. I'm making money. NVIDIA is breaking out. I mean, we've been talking about semis for a while. Semis are looking phenomenal. Broadcom's actually looking even better, slightly better. Both are looking really good today. NVIDIA is going, Broadcom's going, Qualcomm's going. The whole semiconductor industry is looking great. MSTR is looking great. Coin is looking great. Tesla is looking better. Meta is coming off maybe a double bottom low. So I would love it across the board if we just saw massive green. I wish everything right now looked like Coin or Broadcom or NVIDIA, but some of these things are holding us back. So Apple not really doing anything, world's third biggest stock. Microsoft not really doing anything, second biggest stock, first biggest stock, while the second biggest stock, NVIDIA, is looking good, which is part of the reason why the SPY and the Qs are looking so strong right now. Why they're looking so strong right now. All right, where are we at? What was that low? Should I just target that low? All right, moving this stop up to break even. So no matter what, now I'm guaranteeing myself $450 on the day. No, worst case scenario is I make $450 on these 10 accounts, so 4.5K. on top of passing these apex. So half of these are funded, as in that's my money now, and the other half are their evals. So I'm just looking to target 3K in total profit, but it's going to take 5 total trading days. So half of these are the evals, half of these are funded. That's what you see above my head right now. The realize all the way to the left here, that's what's already locked in. And then the fact that I put my stop at break even just tells you that that's going to be the worst case scenario. And then the best case scenario is if it runs all the way up here, and most likely the truth is going to be somewhere in the middle. Exiting, I would assume it's going to knock me out, but I mean, or I could just get out now with these $700 gains. You just never know when you're going to catch a runner. You just never know when you're going to catch a runner. Dobby is a free elf. Come on, Tesla, pick it up. I would love for Tesla to get to like 355, 358, something like that today. I would love for MicroStrategy to test 400 today. Dude, the account's pumping right now. I am deeply underwater on Tesla, and even more, I'm like legit underwater on MSTR. But I do have till June 20th on MSTR. MSTR is my worst position right now. I'm up 146% on Broadcom, 54% on Meta, break even on the SPY and the Qs, down 42% on Tesla, and down 83% on MSTR. That's brutal. Brutal, brutal, brutal. Oh, I would love for this stuff just to break and run. I just want to see them all in the green. Okay, we're getting close to my target zone here. Let's see how the market's going to react. Let's pay close attention to this delta flow. Pay close attention. So the play of the day was most likely the breakout at 1039, because you had a higher low from 1033. You had well-defined risk, and you just get to ride the breakout. So this little bar right here, right around 1039, 1040, that was probably the play of the day. All of the momentum was bullish. The price structure was bullish. The option flow was bullish. And you had reasonable, minimal risk because your risk would have literally just been the 1035, like whatever this low was right here. So in real time, not knowing how this was going, because we don't want to be resulting, the play of the day was probably going long right here at 1039. You had well-defined risk, and you're riding it for a breakout. And if it does ride, you're getting a multiple of your risk in terms of your reward. I mean, at this point, you're probably 3x your risk. So you can move your stop to break even. You're now no longer taking on risk, and you get to ride it. Maybe it breaks out here, and you get to ride it more, or maybe it gets rejected. And if you see the rejection, you could take your money and call it a day. So that was probably it. Right around 1040, risking the 1035 low. That was most likely the play of the day based on all the information we had at that moment in time, which is price structure, price momentum, and options flow. All of momentum was bullish. All of structure was bullish. And really the flow went from maybe a little questionable to finally being actually bullish after it like settled a little bit. Have you considered swimming up, Matt? Have you tried adding floaties to your positions? I should give that a whirl. I haven't tried it yet, but hey, don't knock it till you try it, right? Don't knock it until you try it. Okay, Tesla's popping. Tesla's popping. This account's popping. Up 20 grand today. We're making a nice recovery. There we go. There we go. That's what I like to see. How's this looking? We're going. We're cruising. Up 840 per account on these 10 accounts. So since I have 10, that's 8.4K. 8.4K. If it goes all the way up here, that would be 15K. So we're about halfway to where I need it. Roughly. We're almost halfway. My big concern is the fact that we're now coming up to legit resistance, and that legit resistance is shown perfectly on spot gamma right here. You can see it right there. We're running, like, see how we just rip through this negative gamma, slippery price action? Well, now we're getting up to sticky price action, which means we are probably going to be in for quite a bit of a fight between 59.60 to 59.90. That's all positive gamma. Positive gamma is where you see mean reverting price action. So if you have a position the way I do, you trend follow. this is not the time to create a position. You don't want to be the person buying at the high of the day or shorting at the low of the day. You don't want to be the chaser. You want to be the person who's in where your stop's already at break even. And if it goes, you're like, oh, this is awesome. But if it doesn't go, at least you protected yourself. You very, 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 very much do not want to be the person going long at the high or going short at the low. Don't be the person chasing, because even if it works 9 out of 10 times, it's that 10th time that you're going to give all your money back, and then it's a net losing trading strategy. And that's coming from a person who's traded like that, and it is like a huge pain in the ass. Sold QQQ calls, nice run, not greedy. I wouldn't necessarily call it greedy or not greedy. It's more of, did you stick to your trading plan? Because it could keep going. If you're a trend following trader, your goal is to get the meat of the move. So if you're like, well, hang on, this is a key level, which it is a key level, you might want to scale out. But to be the person who's like, nope, this is the peak of the day, you don't know. This might run to 6,000 today. And all of it, before you know it, you left hundreds of % of gains on the table. The point is you don't know. So you want to manage it appropriately. So it easily could get rejected there. It easily could rip here. The point is we don't know the next bar. We don't know the next 2 bars. We don't know the next 3 bars. So it's just like, it's just a risk management thing. You just want to move up, move up, move up. So whether greedy or not, I wouldn't define that as like, I mean, it's really hard to pick the top of the day. It's a very, very difficult thing to do. And just saying, hey, I don't want to be greedy. So you're basically saying that is the top. So I would redefine greedy as, are you overstaying your welcome based on your trading strategy? If your trading strategy is legit telling you to get out there and you're like, no, I think it's going to keep going, I would define that as greedy. It's not greedy though to stick to what your trading plan is. Not at all. Like, I would define greedy as saying, no, I think I stuck to my trading plan, but I think there's actually more, so I'm going to overstay my welcome. I think that's a better definition of greedy. Sold 0 DT QQ calls for 150%, not a bad Tuesday. Once again, I would not define good or bad based on the gain or the loss. It's, did you stick to your trading plan? You're going to have very, very, very good trades that maybe aren't your trading plan, so it's not good. And I'm defining in that sense good as a gain, but maybe not good in terms of decision making. I think we all need to put in that effort to rewire our mental framework of what the market is and isn't by, did you stick to your trading plan? Whether you make or lose money, it is a good trade if you stuck to your plan. It is a bad trade if you did not stick to your plan, regardless of did you make money or not. If you define it all by did you make money or not, that is the definition of resulting. You can make good decisions and lose money. You can make horrible decisions and make money. That's possible because the market is normally distributed. Half the time we go up, half the time we go down. It has much, much more to, did you stick to your trading plan? That should be like how you're really defining all of this. Not did I make money? Did I lose money? In the long run, the more quality decisions you make time and time again, your count will go up and up and up. In a small data set, as in like, what did you do today? You don't really know. This is a game of just doing it over and over, the same boring thing over and over and over again. Almost took a trade to chase it. Then I heard your advice. Remember my trading strategy not to chase. Thank you. Sitting still. That's what you got to do. That's what you got to do. My trading plan is to hold on to my losers and cut my winners. It's like my specialty or something. That's phenomenal. I've heard of that strategy. It sounds like a good one. Yep. As predicted, we are running into a little bit of a struggle right here. How much of a struggle is it going to be? I don't know. Your answer is as good as mine. How fascinating is that? People are going to think that this is Harry Potter level, like hocus pocus that I'm calling out here of like, how did he know it would run to that and then like start to struggle? Folks, it's like people love, if I was a trading guru, furu, I would be like, oh, you got to buy my $10,000 course to figure this out. How do I know the levels before we even get there? It's not hard. All you have to fucking do is look at the options positioning and say, oh, wow, that's a lot of positioning. I bet we have a little bit of trouble there. Might be resistance, might be support. We might break out, we might break down. It could be a fake out. It's more of just literally saying, if you have the ability to say that's a big fucking bar, well, then you have the ability to do these Harry Potter call out. It's not a difficult thing. It really, really isn't. Like, and people love to do that. They love to like act like they're like one singular good call out makes them like a god of trading. and it's so silly. They'll sell for thousands of dollars like a stupid fucking trendline course, like just dumb shit, a dumbass technical course, which all that stuff, first of all, a lot of the times it's not quality because they don't even give you the odds or the stats or anything like that. But most of the time they're also just like wrong. Like they don't even know like what the fuck they're talking about. And then yet they have the balls to charge so much money for it. It's insane. Just fucking open up the internet and give it a search. You could probably find it on YouTube or ChatGPT or something and get an accurate breakdown and also not have to spend money. Wait, you don't have a 20K course? It wasn't, you sold me that course? Unfortunately not. Out of curiosity, is your strategy based around options and momentum? Sure, it's more complicated than that, but as a total rough idea, depends. I run multiple systems. I mean, I do have some systems that look at price momentum. I have some that look at options. I don't have any that look at options momentum just because I don't know how to get that data. But my uncle taught me. Well, hopefully your uncle knows what the fuck he's doing. Made 10% on SPX puts, $2 whole. Hell yeah, Tom. Everyone, put your hands together. Winner, chicken dinner in chat. Folks, lunch is on Tom. $2 whole. He is crushing it today. Would you recommend changing the candle colors? I heard it increases your win rate. Yes, but okay, that's true. But what they don't tell you is what color to switch your candles to. Folks, this is a big secret of the trading industry, but I will let you in on it. Yes, changing the color of your candles can increase your win rate, of course. But to really increase it, to optimize it, to maximize it, you're going to want to switch the color of your candles to translucent. Now, I know that might seem crazy, but for anyone who's ever seen Talladega Nights, you want to be able to feel the road. You don't want to see the road and drive it. You want to drive with it. You want it to be a part of you metaphysically, borderline spiritually. If you can't trade without seeing the candles, you shouldn't be trading at all. You should be feeling the charts. You should be working in synergy with the charts, and then you're really plugged into the matrix. So that's one thing that I don't hear enough people talking about, but you should be so good at trading that you actually don't even need the candles. You should just be able to inherently feel it in your soul. That's probably my major tip of the day. Probably my major tip of the year, honestly. What color should the undecided candles be? Same, actually just rainbow. The way I like to color my charts when I'm not streaming to you guys is I do translucent for all the decided candles, and then I do rainbow for the undecided candles. That's my big trip. I drive with a blindfold all the time. Hey, maybe you should start trading like that all the time then. The candles distract. Yeah, dude. Honestly, when I trade, I think one of the biggest distractions is price. Price is like the fifth thing in my priority list that I care about. Number one, and always, is vibes. What's the vibes of the day? What's the vibes of the market? I'm a big vibes trader. After that is aura. Even if the vibes are good, but a particular ticker just doesn't have aura, I'm not going to trade it. I'm not going to touch it. And like literally, it's a laundry list of things I care about before I actually get to price movement, momentum, and options. The things I show you here, you have to understand they're not my top tier things, because then there would be no point in me selling a $40,000 course per day. $40,000 a day to be in the course. It would be pointless for me to run a Discord. Like, the things I talk about with you guys, price structure, price momentum, options flow, narrative, those are all deep down the list. I can't give away the secret sauce. And I'm not going to tell you guys how to do it, but vibes is way high on the list. Aura, way high on the list. Just being lucky, being around lucky people. If you're not a lucky person, trading is not for you. Certain people in this world have luck. Other people don't have luck. You want to be lucky. It's not a necessity, but I would recommend all traders get a cat, preferably a kitten, preferably a Bengal kitten. These are all the types of things that some of it can be taught, others of it, you're just born with it. Kind of like Maybelline shampoo. Some people are just born with really bouncy hair, and other peasants out there, they have to work for it, you know? Charm's in there, but not charm as in like charismatic, charm as in like a lucky charm, like a rabbit's foot or a horseshoe or a 4-leaf clover. I want to be clear on the type of charm. I mean like a magical pendant, not charm as in an emotional characteristic or a personality characteristic. Get a black cat and trade under a ladder. Yeah, while breaking a mirror. That's another solid technique. You guys are starting to get it. After years of us learning from each other, it feels like we're finally getting onto the same page. And I'm happy to see that. I rain dance pre-market and money pours down in my account. That's another solid technique. I don't appreciate you necessarily sharing the secrets of the high-end mastermind class with the rest of the audience here today, because obviously you paid a lot to learn that. But you know what? Hey, doesn't hurt every so often to pull the curtain back. But yeah, that's another classic tactic that we do in the Goonie community. Pre-market rain dances. It's actually a strong one. It's not our best technique, but it's up there. It's not our best technique, but it's certainly up there. Certainly up there. How are we looking? Oh, we're looking and we're cooking. We're looking and we're cooking. Bullish. We're still knocking on this door of the breakout. 54, 63. All right, I'm moving my stop up to 62, guaranteeing another $200. Yeah. So no matter what, my worst case situation is $660 per account. So 6.5K is my worst case scenario. My best case scenario is a rip all the way up here to my max profit on the day, which would be 1.5K per account at 10 accounts, which is $15,000. No less the fact that my options are ripping. All right. Things are taking a bit of a breather here starting at 11. Starting at 11, folks. That means the show is freaking over. All right, before I let you go, obviously, if you want to trade with someone else's money, the way I am right here, these 10 accounts that are still alive right here, these guys, those are all my Take Profit Trader accounts. That's currently the best deal. Use that code Goonie. Make sure you're actually applying it when you're checking out. Hit the apply button. You'll get 30% off, and you will not have to pay an activation fee. Pinned to the top of chat in the description of the video, and shout out to Take Profit Trader. Folks, that's what I have for you now. We will be posting an update video after the market closes today. I'll do a full breakdown of what happened in the market. I'll be calling out, like I did in yesterday's update video, of all the major things I saw in this session and what I'm looking forward to the upcoming session. A little bit more of like a swing trading vibe rather than a day trading vibe because the day is over. And then obviously a call out of what to pay attention to the very next trading day. That will be coming out after the market closes today. And then we're going to be streaming again tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. bright and early. I'm going to go hang out in the Discord. I hope to see you there. Shout out to Take Profit Trader. And then shout out to all of you guys bringing all the good vibes, all the good aura. It's the main way to trade. It's the main way to make a shitload of money. And on that note, I hope you guys all watching right now are in fact making a shitload of money. That's what I have for you. I appreciate you all. I'll catch you later. Bye.